Welcome back to another Modisoft back office video. My name is Jonathan, and today we're going to be going over on how to create modifiers for your speed keys if you are using it for like a deli or restaurant type environment. So a modifier is an item or a group of items that can be attached to a meal or another speed key that is in your register. So for example, let's say you have a pizza and you want to give your customers the options to choose if they're going to have, meat, cheese, veggies, what sizes it's going to be, etc., etc. All of those things would be considered modifiers. So first thing you're going to do, go to your main menu, go into your setup, and then you can go here to your MPOS tab and then into your MPOS menu. So once you are in your menu, you will notice in that middle column they have a modifier groups. We're going to do an example here. So for burgers, you'll see that we've already created, entrees, sides for these type of burgers. So for example, if a customer wants to order a cheeseburger, they can choose, okay, do they want it with cheese, patty, lettuce, ketchup, onions, etc. And then they'll be able to make those choices at the register. So not only are they able to choose entrees, but they're also able to choose extra sides as well with this specific order. So now I'm going to show you all how to create your own groups. For example, let's do it for tacos. Right now we have breakfast taco, but there is no modifier group. So we're going to create a modifier group for the tacos. So go ahead and click on the modifier group. Here's a couple groups that have already been created on this demo account. So you are able to create your own modifier groups because when you first log into your store, this will be blank. So as you can see here, we do not have any kind of toppings for tacos. So we can actually add that group. So we'll go ahead and click add. For example, I'll go ahead and call it taco toppings. So that whenever you pick the taco, it'll actually give you the option, okay, choose from these taco toppings. So you are able to group it by item or by quantity. So this kind of gives you an example of if you were to do it by item, so that means whenever they select taco, it's going to have the items associated with the prices associated with those extra items. If you do it by quantity, it gives you an example here where a customer can, for example, if you had like a taco box where you can choose up to 10 tacos and maybe you might have 8 different tacos that you can choose, and then a customer can choose, okay, they want to have 3 of these tacos, 2 of those tacos, and 4 of some other tacos, right? So those are an example of how it would be if you want to do it by quantity. So for this demo, we'll go ahead and do it by item. And then you can put here how many items can the customer choose. So is it going to be an exact amount? They have to have more than a certain amount, up to a certain amount, or between a certain amount. So if you're going to do exactly, then that means that whenever the customer is choosing the modifiers to add, they have to have an exact amount. So if you put exactly one topping, then that means they will only be able to select one topping for this taco. If they choose more than, then that means they have to have more than a certain amount of modifiers or toppings that you are going to add. So for example, if you were to do more than 2, then they have to have more than 2 toppings on this specific taco. If they choose up to, then that means they can have up to a certain amount of toppings on this taco. So if you do choose up to, you can do up to 5. So that means, let's say you have 5 different toppings you can choose, and they can have up to all 5 of those toppings. They can't choose more, but they can definitely choose less or equal to then that 5. If they choose between, then that means they have to choose between that number that you set. So if you tell them that they can only have between 1 and 5 toppings, Same thing, that means you choose between 1 and 5 toppings. So for demo purposes, we are going to put up 2. So that means a customer will be able to choose up to a certain amount of taco toppings. So they can choose, if this was, for example, a beef taco, but maybe they want to have extra cheese, extra lettuce, tomatoes, or maybe additional meat on this taco, then they can choose up to those amount of toppings. So we'll do up to 5 toppings. On here, is this required? So this right here is saying that whenever you choose this taco, are these modifiers required to complete this taco? You can use it as an optional so they can, they don't have to add modifiers. If you do put required, then that means they do have to select up to 5 toppings in order for this item to be added to the cart. So we'll go ahead and put optional here. Once you get down here, you are able to add the items that are going to be your taco toppings. And in this situation, I'm going to go ahead and add a couple toppings for you guys and kind of show you the process. Here, you can either enter the PLU or the description of the item itself. So if you know what the PLU of the onion item is in your price book, then you can enter that here. Otherwise, if you do not know, you just want to add, for example, onions as being a taco topping, then you are able to type in the name. You can search your price book here. If you have the item, so we do have the item here, you are able to add it to the toppings that can be added to this taco modifier group. So if, for example, though, let's say you want to add another item, but you do not have that item in the price book. So let's say you want to add also steak, but whenever you look through your price book items, you notice that, all you have here are just jack links, but you don't actually have the steak itself. So in that situation, if you don't have this item yet in your price book, then you can just click here on the plus sign and you can actually add that steak item to your price book so that you can use this item. So you can just click here, give it the UPC that you want to give it, the name of the description, you'll add the department that it's going to be along, how much the unit retail of this would normally be if someone was to buy it by itself. You can additionally add a size if you want, don't have to, and then add a tax rate to that item. Then just hit save and close, and then you have successfully added this item as a modifier. So once you add all your items, you'll have to notice that because we put up to 5 items here, you do have to have at least 5 items as your modifier items in order to add this modifier group. So if, for example, if you try to save it as it is right here with just onion and steak and try to hit save and close, it's going to tell you here, please add at least 5 items in the list for this up to type. So you would have to have at least 5 items in order to save it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, so now that we've added all the items here, you do have the ability as well, if you would like to add an optional image, you can click here on the left-hand side to add an image. Once this page loads, you can either choose from the common gallery, which are images that we have in Modisoft's database, or if you've already got your own images, you can just click here to select your files, and then that will actually add whatever image you decide to add to this modifier item. So for this demo, I will not add any images, but like I said, you can do this if you'd like. Once you have created everything here, you have the ability to put if this is a required modifier, like it's required to be on this specific item, or if it's a pre-selected modifier. So for example, let's say you were creating a pizza and you were making the meats lovers pizza, where required modifiers, or not required, but pre-selected modifiers would be like the pepperoni, the beef, the bacon, etc., then you would check mark, these are pre-selected so that when that item is selected, these will automatically be added to the cart as modifiers. So if you don't have any pre-selected modifiers, then you can just hit save and close, and then it will save your modifier group with the items. So you'll see now in our modifier group section here at the bottom, you see the taco toppings, and then these are going to be all the items with the pricing, etc., that you have specified for this specific modifier group. Another important note is that since on this modifier group that we just created, we have some items that are brand new, such as the steak, barbacoa, tripe, chicken, its toppings on these tacos. Since they are brand new items we just created in this modifier group menu, you need to remember to send these items to the POS. If you do not send it to the POS, then these items will not show up on the register. So this is probably the most important thing that you need to do after you create a group, especially if you have any items that are brand new in the system. So we're going to go back to the MPOS menu, and we'll be back here with the tacos that we originally were with. And now with these tacos, we are able to add that modifier group that we just created. So we can click here, the taco toppings, click on add, and now we can do it to every single taco in this group. So that means that this is a universal modifier group, so that every time a customer wants to order any specific type of taco, then they will be able to select from this modifier group. So once you go down and add all the modifier groups to the specific items, then now whenever you go to the register and you select this breakfast taco, you will be given the option to choose from your taco toppings. So I'm going to go ahead, I will give you an example. I'm going to load a register here on the demo so that you can see what it would look like. So in our demo register, you will see in the bottom right corner of one of our speed keys, we have the taco speed key that you saw in our demo. So when you click on it, you'll see the 4 different tacos that we had. And then you'll notice that whenever you do select a taco now that I've created those modifier groups, it's going to ask me, when you ask your customer when they're ordering this taco, they can actually add up to 5 toppings here. So it'll show the taco toppings that you created. So if you want to add an additional, onions, extra barbacoa, and steak to your taco, then you can actually add it to your cart. And it will show you that you added your breakfast taco, but you added these 3 different modifiers to that item. So you are able to do that with any item that you assign that modifier group to in the back office under that MPOS menu. Again, since these were new items, we did send them to the POS so that they would show here as modifiers. Because if we did not send these items to the POS, if I would have come here, wanted to get a breakfast taco, all these items here, steak, barbacoa, tripe, and chicken, those were brand new items that I created, so these would have been blank on your register. So just remember, again, it's important that you do send to the POS so that these items will show up in your menu. We hope that you found this guide useful in better understanding your Modisoft back office. Please like, subscribe, and click on the notification bell so that you will always be up to date on your Modisoft back office. Thank you and have a wonderful day.